Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group. New details on DOD's active process to shrink its workforce by more than 50,000 personnel. And the Pentagon turns its focus to 6G. It's Thursday, March 20th, 2025. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's dive into the day's top headlines. The Pentagon is currently placing more than 20,000 employees on administrative leave and a path to full termination, following staff approval for voluntary participation in the Trump administration's Elon Musk-inspired Fork in the Road initiative, according to top officials involved in the major workforce reduction plans. In an off-camera press briefing this week, two senior defense officials provided new information regarding the Defense Department's unfolding effort to shrink its massive civilian employee pool using three main mechanisms. An official stressed to Defense Group that this is a very active process and that things are fluid as the department's leadership engages with services and components. At the start of his second administration, President Donald Trump immediately directed federal agencies to drastically reduce their workforces and review existing contracts as part of a broader move to ultimately cut back on what his team views as wasteful spending and inefficiencies. Inside the DOD, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth ordered a strategic reduction of 5 to 8% of civilian personnel, with a sharp focus on promoting the department's lethality, readiness, and warfighting ability while meeting Trump's mandate. A senior defense official confirmed that the department's civilian workforce encompasses roughly 800,000 appropriated fund employees, around 100,000 who fall under non-appropriated funds, and additional numbers in other categories, such as foreign nationals. Doing the math with that 5 to 8% figure, that breaks down to about 50 to 60,000 employees that are slated for termination, according to the senior defense official. In other news in the defense space, as the Defense Department anticipates the wireless networks of the future for warfighting missions, it has shifted its focus for research and development primarily to 6G wireless technologies. That's according to Marlan Macklin, Deputy Principal Director for the Pentagon's FutureG office, who spoke on a panel Wednesday at Elastic's Public Sector Summit produced by FedScoop. The DOD is looking to the next generation wireless tech to further build on the improved speeds, latency, and capacity it gained with 5G and support the U.S. military's use of new capabilities at the edge. With that, Macklin said the Pentagon is beginning to experiment with 6G in a variety of ways. As an example, the FutureG office has been experimenting with a concept called integrated sensing and communication, which uses radio frequencies of all objects, including those not actively transmitting data, connected to a network to create situational awareness of the surrounding environment. One way in which the U.S. military could apply this emerging concept is to improve awareness and management of drones in a given environment, Macklin said. Late last year, the Defense Department expressed frustration when it couldn't figure out who was responsible for flying drones near military installations in New Jersey. But a new capability like integrated sensing and communication supported by 6G might aid in addressing such incidents with threatening drones, Macklin implied. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, make sure to visit fedscoop.com. The Daily Scoop podcast is available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back next week with brand new episodes. Until then, I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.